On today's episode of Ag Matters PM, I'm joined by Jim Lappin with AMVAC. We talk about the SIMPAS and SmartBox application systems and also the lineup of biologicals from AMVAC. Mark Magnuson for the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, and I'm joined today by Jim Lappin with AMVAC. Jim at Trade Talk here today at NAFB in Kansas City. And Jim, what are you excited about to talk to people that are stopping by your booth here today?
Well, we're talking about how AMVAC has evolved over the last few years, where we were known as a traditional company. We sold a lot of corn soil insecticides that Iowa growers have enjoyed for many years and some herbicides, but we've really developed three new platforms where we have our proven chemistry, so we continue to sell insecticides, herbicides, fungicides. Under that arena, we have a new herbicide coming forward through EPA in there. We have our SIMPAS portfolio, which is a way for row crop growers to prescriptively apply products at plant, so they get exactly what they need, precisely where they need it. And then we have our biological portfolio that's growing. So if you think about the world of biologicals, most of it's been evolving in the specialty crop arena, but we now have some products that are being adopted on broad basis in row crops. And not only do we have the products that can go whole field, but we've entered into this planter box space where growers who are using fluency agents, we're using those fluency agents as a carrier to bring incremental value to those products in the planter box.
So I've heard when it comes to biologicals that the most successful way in the industry to get the word out about biologicals is to have that data to back it up and those results that show what biologicals are capable of. Have you found that to be the case?
Absolutely. There's no use like a use in my location, on my farm, in my arena, in my geography. So I have data that I can generate and cite and talk about locally or regionally. So we've been quite active in that space as far as the biologicals go. Because our biologicals are very convenient to use, it's easier for a grower to either split a planter, put a strip trial. In the case of our SIMPAS system, using a biological in a SIMPAS or even a synthetic chemistry in a SIMPAS unit. Again, each row has an independent control. Every cartridge has independent control. So I can do all kinds of on-farm testing in a commercial situation. So I don't have to go to the strip trialing of the past. I can go to a commercial operation and say, hey, I can try this product and leave untreated checks in every management zone to make sure I'm delivering the value that the grower expects.
And am I also on the right track with biologicals that if you look at kind of what you need, what you're looking to get out of a biological, then that kind of steers you towards which biological you should go with to kind of try to get that end result?
Many biologicals have very specific functions. We're fortunate, and one of our premier selling biologicals is actually a multi-purpose biological. We have a product we sell called Invigorate. So Invigorate can be used as a broadcast at planting, can be used in SIMPAS system. But what it does is it's actually a consortium of 23 different microbes, right? So the value of having that consortium is you don't always have the same set of conditions that evolve on a farm year to year. So you may have drier weather, wetter weather, so aerobic, anaerobic conditions. You may have different kinds of stresses that occur. So I'll give you an example. Our product Invigorate, we've compared it to some of the nitrogen-fixing products. We have nitrogen-fixing components, and we've been able to demonstrate that we're getting a more consistent response than some of these nitrogen fixers. Not because we're a better nitrogen fixer, but because we're a nitrogen fixer, we're a P and K solubilizer, we can solubilize some micronutrients, we can mitigate against stresses, we got root biostimulants in the mix. So irregardless of the type of pressure that may occur in a given year, you have more likely to have one of those stresses occur versus a single stress that might occur under a very specific biological.
Earlier you mentioned, I believe the term you used was a prescriptive or a prescription type setup so that you can make sure that the grower has exactly what they need. How does that process work?
So our SIMPAS system is an aftermarket bolt-on system sold by Trimble. So a grower can go and buy this system from Trimble. We have a portfolio of product, our SIMPAS applied solutions that you can apply. So every row has 3 cartridges. Each one of those cartridges is independently controlled. So I can apply things whole field if I desire. I can do variable rate row by row. I can do very, very precise management zones prescriptively, input by input, row by row. So if I can write a shape file for where I want to put the product, the system will turn on and off at planter speeds of 8 to 10 miles an hour. Think of it like an inkjet printer. It's only putting on the color or the input where it's most needed, where that return on investment is greatest.
Jim, is there anything else you'd like to let our viewers, our listeners back in the state of Iowa know about what you have at AMVAC right now available and what you're looking forward to in the future?
So our newest biological, for those growers who aren't equipped with a rootworm insecticide system and has experienced some rootworm issues, either traits are failing more frequently, there's broad level of resistance out there in the field. So we're developing and launching a new planter box treatment that not only does it combine a biostimulant, so something that colonizes the root and builds root system late in the season, it also combines a component that helps mitigate against rootworm feeding and pressure. So it triggers some of those natural defenses for that plant that deter the rootworm feeding. So again, you have less lodged corn, better stand, better harvestability, and ultimately higher yields, and all through the simplicity and convenience of a planter box treatment.
And what's the best way for our audience to find out more?
Go to amvac.com, look for green solutions. Go to amvac.com, look for a proven chemistry, or simpas.com to learn about SIMPAS and that portfolio of products.
Jim Lappin, a lot going on at AMVAC. Thanks so much for stopping by to tell us about it here today at Trade Talk, and have a great rest of the show.
Thank you, and best of luck to the Iowa growers coming into next season.